All right. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Gamers Lounge podcast. My name is John Meadows. With me, as always, Eric and Robert. How's it going, guys?
What's up, everybody?
It's hot. It's very hot.
Hot, like in the weather's really hot down
Yes,
there?
yes.
Hot.
As David Letterman once
It's only
said.
like 74 here.
Oh, whatever. I was there last week. It was 98 degrees. Don't you lie.
I mean, I was in South Carolina last week, so I don't know.
Yeah.
How bad was the humidity?
Bad.
How bad is the humidity? Bad?
It was bad last week.
It's been raining, so
Yeah, they've had
comes
rain.
and goes.
We haven't had any rain. Here it's, as David Letterman once said, it's so hot that fat men are making their own gravy. That's how hot it is. So.
I don't know about that.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah, it's been like 90, 95 here, but it's all dry,
Yeah.
dry desert climate.
I was in Robert's neck of the woods last week. It was 98 degrees one day and 95 the next day. It was freaking hot.
Woohoo!
He always seems to be here when I'm not. I'm starting to get offended.
Yeah, play it that way.
Lands it.
It's exactly why I'm there. So that's how I work it out.
Stop by and say
Oh,
hi.
Robert's out of town?
Oh.
Yeah, let's go there for work.
Yeah, oh yeah, Robert's out of town. I can work that week. No worries. No, I can't work this week. Robert's in town. So, no, I'll probably be
Well, your
there
stuff
next
is
week.
piling up, John.
I know. And I could have stopped by last week because I was in Wake Forest last week, so I really could have
Yeah,
stopped by.
right around the corner.
But oh well. One of these days, I'm sure next week I'll be up there again. I say that every time, but
Yep.
who knows? We'll see. But we didn't come to talk about work or traveling or anything like that. We come to talk about video games. So, well, what have you guys been playing or doing? Anything interesting? Robert, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Well, like I said a little bit earlier, I was on vacation, so I didn't do a whole lot of gaming. I did finally finish up the Heaven's Ward expansion on Final Fantasy XIV, so I'm now starting up the Stormblood one. I've maybe done like one mission in there, so I don't really know anything about it yet. From what I hear, though, the story in that one is phenomenal, so I'm looking forward to diving into that some. Actually, tomorrow. I have a day off tomorrow.
Oh, that's good. You've
yeah,
never had.
I don't really
When's
know
the
how
last
that
time you had a
happened.
day off? Well, wait a minute. Here's
just-
my thing. You make the schedule, so I mean, it's like you make the schedule at one job, so I mean, you ought to have at least a day off. I mean,
Well,
He gets
you
half
see,
a day. Then he gets called in
when
for
it-
work.
well, yeah,
my days off at job one are the days that I work at job two.
right. Well,
So,
yeah.
it- Doesn't really work out that way.
Gotta make that hustle.
You can call in
Yeah.
sick
Make a
at some
living.
point, I mean,
And I don't really do the whole call in sick thing. I don't know.
well,
He's got the iron
but-
immune system.
I do.
I never
have
do either,
not
but
been
I'm
sick
not
in 5
working.
years.
I never do either, but I don't work like 2 or 3 jobs. So,
Too many.
so then you don't have to work. You don't have to call in sick every once in a while. So,
Yeah.
uh,
And this is my gaming time, and here I am with you fine folks.
yeah.
I also played Crash Insane Trilogy on the PS4.
Yeah,
And believe
Is it
it
fun?
or not, this is I think so. I never played the originals. I was always something I regretted, and I didn't have a PlayStation 1 back in the day, so this was my chance, and I hopped in there, and I'm still in the first one, but I really like them. It's old school platforming fun and frustration. Let's not leave that out. There are some floaty jumping mechanics in there, and oh my god, if you don't know what you're getting into, there's gonna be some frustrating levels. But I don't know. It's the type of games that I grew up with, so I'm really enjoying them, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they progress through each of the sequels.
I always
I
like
played
the
the
Crash
fir-
games.
I played the first game back in the day, and I liked it. I never owned a PS1, but I played it at a friend's house, and I definitely considered this when I saw it was coming out. That could be kind of an interesting sort of. I probably enjoy this. I hear
think it's
parts of it are
100%
really hard, though.
Yeah, very, very hard, especially in the first game. But the whole package, it's so polished, and it's reworked from the ground up, so it looks phenomenal. The gameplay is just so slightly tweaked that you don't really notice it unless you're going through and playing them, the old version and the new version at the same time. But it's all smart stuff, and the way they've done the graphics now, it doesn't take away from any of like the tropes. Because like each boss battle has certain things you need to look out for, but due to the graphical limitations, you couldn't tell like, oh, can I jump on this guy's head, or is that orange actually fire? I don't really know, but now you know for sure. Oh, that is fire. I can't jump on his head, so I need to do something else.
Yeah.
So it's just the little things like that they don't ruin the experience. They just make more sense now.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, I mean, golly, how old are those games now?
95,
96. I want to say maybe.
See, I'm going to have to look it up. I mean, I know it's getting up there in age. I don't remember exactly how old it is.
Yeah, when was? Maybe one of them was free on PlayStation Plus in the last like 5 or 6 years too, and I got one of them as well. I seem to think that I have one of them.
I don't know. I don't remember. I played them back in the day when they were, out. You know.
Have either of you finished Uncharted 4?
Yeah.
No.
You can play Crash.
John didn't finish it?
No, I haven't finished it yet.
You can play Crash in that game.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can, for like 10 seconds.
Yeah,
it's
there's like a whole little cutscene where
segment
you're playing it.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't free on PlayStation Plus, and that's the last place I played. I don't know.
That may be what you're thinking of.
I think you're literally just running away from the boulder until you get past that one scene.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you die. And then
spoilers, I guess.
She laughs at you.
Oh,
sorry. Well, I mean, if you haven't played it by now, I mean, there's your 2 week your 2 week spoiler limitation is up. So.
And you got the sequel coming out, well, the semi-sequel.
Yeah, the expansion coming out. So.
Forgot I bought the season pass like super cheap, like 4 or 5 months ago. I was like, oh wait, that's included in it. Now I'm even.
But you don't get the sweet pre-order bonus.
Yeah.
No. Is there going to be any sort of physical copy, or is it just going to be physical copy?
Yeah, it's physical.
It's physical. You get a full download of Jak and Daxter Precursor Legacy PS2 classic thing.
Eyes are lighting up like Christmas tree. $40?
Yeah.
Yeah. Free game just by pre-ordering.
I thought that one was free. Wasn't that game free at one time, or is it not? Is that the only way to get that game? I thought that Jak and Daxter game was free on PlayStation Plus a couple months ago.
Maybe. I don't know. I would have got it.
It was not, because it hasn't even released yet on the PS4.
That's what I wondered. I couldn't remember.
They re-released 1, 2, and 3 on the PS3, remastered in HD.
Yeah, I remember that.
If I hadn't platinumed it back then, I would be way more tempted than I am now.
Maybe I'm thinking of that Ratchet and Clank game.
I think I had played the Precursor Legacy back in the day on PS2 though. Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. Jak and Daxter games were.
I wish I played more Jak and Daxter. I really wish I'd played more.
Yeah, I'm a big Jak and Daxter fan. Like I would have even taken an extra 2 years from getting The Last of Us 2 for another Jak game from Naughty Dog, but everyone else seems to think that'd be a waste of their talent.
I would have liked the Jak and Daxter game better than The Last of Us. So.
Oh, all right.
I didn't like The Last of Us. So.
What? Look at
We've had this discussion.
We've had this discussion a lot of times.
It's okay. Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
I'm not the only one out there. I'm not the only one out there that has that opinion. My real good buddy that I play with all the time, he was the exact same way. He did not like it either. So when
you did something wrong.
No, we did everything right. It's everybody else
You're
that
playing
did
a different
wrong.
version of that.
No, unfortunately, I am playing the same version as everybody else. That's the bad thing.
The Jak and Daxter collection. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
PS3.
there was the collection on PS3. Yep.
Looks like I bet you can get it for $20.
Well, that's cool. I've heard good things about the Crash series or the Crash remaster thing. If it was $20, I would buy it, but I'm not interested.
I don't know, man. I think it's a good deal.
I've
played
3
games.
Well, but I've played all 3 of them before. So I'm getting kind of tired of buying the same games over and over and over again on everything.
Got to look for those unique experiences.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much new stuff out there.
From what I understand, it's been selling really well.
I'm
sold
sure.
out on Amazon at one point, and in its first week, it did more copies than Horizon did in its first week.
I'm sure.
I guess people really want to play as Crash.
Well, there's probably a lot of people out there that either A, never played it, or B, are of that era when they were kids and that game came out and they wanted to play it,
Yeah.
But I've played through all of them 2 or 3 times, and it's just like I don't know if I want to go back and play them again when I've got so much other new stuff
at that point
to play.
Yeah.
And it's like, do I want to spend $40 on it? I mean, I liked them, but did I like them enough to spend $40 on an HD remastered version of them?
I'd like to.
I don't know.
Part of it is I want to make sure that I support it, and talk with my wallet so that maybe one day we can get a new Crash experience.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would be cool. That's why I buy all the Yakuza games. Usually I buy them digital and regular. It's because I want them to keep coming. Of course, we've only got one more after this one that comes out next month, so it really doesn't matter. But
that's the last one?
6th is the last one of the series.
So they said they're done?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 6,
just for now.
6, they're done. 6 is the end of the story.
Isn't there a couple spin-off games in that series for PSP?
Yeah, there was. They were only released in Japan. But
Yep.
yeah, there's a couple of spin-off series of them. I don't know if anybody's done translations of them yet, like they did the Valkyria Chronicles game.
Yeah.
There was a fan translation of the Valkyria Chronicles game on the PSP that you could download and play it all in English. I don't think they ever did that with the Yakuza game. That would be a whole lot of work because it was pretty much an open world game like all the Yakuza games. So I can only imagine 2 people trying to translate an entire game like that when Sega can't do it with an entire team. In a reasonable amount of time.
I really would like to see them do some sort of like remaster or repackage so that I can play through all of the Yakuzas. I only made it through 1 and 2, and I'd love to jump back in, but every time I think about doing like Yakuza 0, it's like, well, then I'd want to go back and play all the others, but I don't want to replay 1 and 2, but I can't play 3 and 4 and 5.
Well, next month is that's what next month's game is. It's Yakuza 1 remastered, redone.
Kiwami or whatever.
Yeah, so you got number 0 and 1, and then 2 you'd still have to play on PS2. 3 is on PlayStation 3. 4 is on.
I don't have my 3 anymore. I need
What?
3, 4. I need 3, 4, and 5 on the PS4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You told me that last time, a couple times ago, a couple shows ago, that you'd gotten rid of your 3.
I have 2 of them sitting right over there in the corner. Yeah, so I don't. Well, you could always play them. I think they're on. Are they on?
I don't think they're on PS now. I
know they used to be. I don't know if they are or not. I know at one time they were.
It's too hard to browse PlayStation now.
I just search. That's all I do. Is I just go to search for it.
Yeah, I'm about to do a list here. See if I can find.
I don't know if it is or not. I know at one time a bunch of the Sega stuff was. I can't remember if they were on there or not. I don't pay attention to much of the PlayStation now because I don't use it.
Yeah.
Because anything that I want to play on my PlayStation 3, I have either a download or a physical disc and my PlayStation 3. So it's like, I don't see the point in streaming it unless it's something that I couldn't get anywhere else or some hard to find game. But most PlayStation 3 games are pretty easy and cheap to find. But
if this Wikipedia article is correct, there are no Yakuza games on PlayStation now.
And they rotate that stuff so often, it may have been on there at one time and it was only on there for so long. I don't know.
The last one I played is the one with the like the undead stuff. And I had a lot of time.
Yeah, the dead.
The spin-off.
That one doesn't even count.
I know, but it was so
dead.
over the top.
What's that thing called? Yakuza Dead something?
Yeah, like Dead Souls.
I don't
remember. It's Dead something. I have it over there on the shelf. I don't remember the name.
It was interesting little kind of almost a sort of Dead Rising spin on it.
Yeah.
Like kind of on the series. It was fun. It was entertaining.
That's a shame you don't have your PlayStation 3 because they even gave, was it 4 away, 4 or 5?
Yes.
Right.
They gave
PlayStation 4.
Right.
Yeah.
So. And I have them downloaded.
Yep. Yeah, they're good games. And they're still fun. They're still fun to go back and play. They really hold up. The graphics hold up on them.
And so 1 and 2 you can get it on the PlayStation Network, right?
Yes, you can download. Well, no.
So if you want 1 and 2, you got to buy the PlayStation version. PlayStation 2.
No, I think you can buy. I think they're on the PlayStation 3. They're not like the PlayStation 2.
I don't know.
Because it's pretty expensive, if I remember.
It used to be, but somebody did a reprint of all of them, the whole series, and the prices really went down. Like, I know Yakuza 2 at one point was almost $100, and then they did a reprint, and I think it cost like $40, and I think the prices dropped pretty cheap on it. So, let me see real quick, because I don't remember... Go ahead and talk about what you played this week, Eric, and I'll look and see.
Sure. So, I picked up took advantage of GameStop's buy two, get one sale. Picked up some stuff needed to pad out my collection. Probably the most notable is Soul Calibur for the Dreamcast. Played a lot of it back in the day.
I still have my original launch copy of that. I bought that day one.
And, of course, it came disc only, but that's what people expected. But it was super cheap, so I'm not going to complain, and it works like a champ. Played that for 20, 30 minutes. I'm like, oh. It looks so good. I'm like, this game has not aged at all. The graphics still look pretty good.
Yeah.
So I was like, I wonder what this looks like with a VGA box. And I was like, I bet it looks really, really good. Started thinking about that. Or like an upscaler. I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, it does. It looks really good on that.
What's going on with the Soul Calibur series? Why? Who makes that? Namco?
Namco.
Yeah, it's Namco. The last one I played was the one with Darth Vader. So that was Soul Calibur 4. So, and that was okay, but I prefer... Actually, what's funny is I also recently picked up... I'll get that in a second. I've been playing some GTA 5 online still with my friends. I got a copy of SNK Arcade Classics Volume 1 for the Wii recently in an eBay auction. It was pretty cheap, and I wanted that for a while, and it's kind of crept up in price. It's about $20 to $25 on average, and I got it for like 16 or 17. Awesome. And I was really hoping they would have released more volumes if this one had sold better, but this one and the PSP one is what... No, this and the PS2 version are the expensive ones, and the PSP version is really cheap. Mm-hmm. And I guess with the PSP version, the emulation's still pretty good, but it's fun. I mean, if you already have like the Metal Slug anthology, you already have like Metal Slug, so I mean, but there's still some fun games in there.
Yeah.
A friend of mine from Center of Washington State came down, and he gave me a bunch of games. He didn't give me a bunch of games, but he gave me Scarface for the PS2, Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, and Resident Evil 4 for PS2, and a GameCube controller for like $11. Great deal. The copy of Resident Evil 4 is for myself because the only other copy I have is the premium edition, that nice steelbook, and I just want to keep that set aside and give myself a disc only or a loose copy to play.
I used to have one of those steelbook editions back in the day.
Really nice. It was. I'm very glad I bought it. I'm like, ooh. Now I gotta get the one for GameCube that comes in the red tin. Really nice.
Yeah, there's a guy online here that has one for sale. I'm not real sure what he wants for it. I've thought about asking him a couple times.
Keep me posted. If it's complete, I'd definitely be interested.
Oh yeah,
or
it's
or
complete.
If you see the chainsaw controller, I really want that chainsaw controller.
We used to have one when I worked at Matt's, but
it's not very comfortable to use. But it's fun. It makes cool noise.
Yeah, and it's cool to set on a.
Yeah. Put it right on top of my shelf, right above my computer till it falls off and breaks something.
Yeah, really.
Right in the middle of the podcast. Eric is down. Chainsaw controller. So I played some more. I played some Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. Good way to test out the old PS2. Make sure everything's good and running on that. And I played that for about an hour. It's a pretty fun game.
It's a cool game. Yeah.
The cut scenes have not aged well. Forget how terrible they are.
But I don't think they were that great back then.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool unlockables. I forgot that you have Mortal Kombat 2 you can unlock, and you can unlock 2 other guys to play through the game. I beat it back in the day, so I was like, this will be just a good game to have, and it was super cheap.
Yeah.
And then, Scarface, I haven't played that yet, but I remember owning that on PS2 and playing a lot of it. It's pretty much like Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I know a lot of people liked the Scarface. I never played it, but I know a lot of people liked it, and it always sold well when we carried PlayStation 2 games in the store.
I think
that and Godfather people come back for.
Yeah,
Godfather was an interesting. Yeah, Godfather was a good game.
Yeah,
it was. I think I finished it on PlayStation 2 back in the day when I had a lot of time.
I think I played it on original Xbox.
Yeah,
I think. I don't know. It all blurs together after a while.
Yeah. So I picked up a couple other things in that GameStop sale. I picked up a copy of Wind Waker and Zelda Ocarina of Time for the GameCube. Those are for a friend, so I'll be getting those to him in a trade. And I also picked up Eternal Darkness. I really wish it had come complete, but I'm okay with it coming disc only.
Yeah.
It looks really good. I fired it up. And I'm like, man, I wonder and again, I had that thought. I wonder what it looks like with component cables. I really was like, I wonder the component cables. I bet it looks really good. That'll be
one
cool
of them
game
I always
with
wanted
my
to play.
wife. And she's like, why is the screen turning green? And why is it bleeding? Like, yeah. I guess some of the things I picked up is I picked up Kirby's Crystal Shards, the N64. I never played it. I went to a huge yard sale over the weekend. The guy had tons of Nintendo 64, tons of other games. I only wanted market price, but I was able to talk him a little bit down on this one, and I never played it. I heard really good things, so I was like, I'll pick it up. Yeah. So, guess the only other thing I picked up, the only thing worth noting is Kirby's Return to Dreamland for the Wii. I never played it. Been on my list. It's very expensive used. I got it locally from a guy, $20.
Oh, that's pretty good. I hear good things about that one. I don't ever remember playing it.
Yeah, it's got four player. It's supposed to be pretty fun.
Yeah, I might have played it. I don't know. I played so many Wii games when they came out that I don't remember.
I like the Kirby games. I got a soft spot for Pink Blob.
Yeah, Kirby's cool.
Now I'm terrified of it because I've seen those memes where he takes off his shoes and now he has human hands. Thanks for ruining for me.
Yeah, I love to play the old Kirby games on the NES. Those are really fun. And
I was never a big Kirby fan.
I didn't like the Rainbow Curse that came out on the Wii U. I didn't like that one as well because you had to do a lot of drawing with it, and it just it felt like it should have been more of a 3DS game than a Wii U game. But it's a lot like the one for the DS that you have to draw on. What was that? Canvas? Which one was that one? I don't remember what it was called now, but
all around a bunch, right?
The Rainbow Curse. I mean, the graphics were cool because it was like claymation and stuff. But your
Canvas Curse. I think
that's what it was. I don't remember. But you had to draw your little lines to get across this and go here and do that. And it just it just kind of got a little bleh after a while. But some of the new Kirby stuff that's coming out looks really cool. So
yeah, I really like the ones on 3DS. I mean, I just like Kirby. They're easy to play. I never get bored. Yeah. They're always something. You got 20 minutes. You're sitting in line. Fire it up. Beat a couple levels. Eat a bunch of stuff. Swallow things. Run around.
I feel like Kirby could translate really well into their mobile games.
Potentially.
Yeah, it really could. Yeah, you're right.
And one other thing worth mentioning, I picked up Shenmue 2. Yay!
All right.
Cool.
It does work. It came disc only, but it looks really good. Fired it up on the Xbox, worked just fine. So that will go on the list.
You need to get yourself a Dreamcast PAL version.
I know. I had that back in the day. I had a pirated copy, and it was good. But I
have a real copy of the PAL version on Dreamcast, and I have that. They call it the version that I like to play is called the undubbed, or the is it undubbed or UDubbed or something like that? Where it's got the Japanese voiceover and the English subtitles, where they flip-flopped it so you could play it.
You told me about that.
Yeah.
I think so. I had this back on Xbox maybe in 2007, 2008, and I think I played like a third of it maybe, and then I don't know. I that's one of the reasons I kept the Xbox was to try to like finish it, and I just never got around to it. But this time, definitely. And since the Xbox is modded, I just copied it to the hard drive too.
Yeah. So. I really hope that one becomes backwards compatible on the Xbox One.
Not?
That would be cool. They haven't said any of the stuff on the Xbox One.
Oh, is it backwards compatible for 360?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're all backwards. 95% of them are backwards compatible on 360. I mean, at least on 360, it upscales it to 1080p. But I mean, I got the component cables for the original Xbox anyway, so it.
Yeah.
Those are
expensive too. Those are like between $40 and $50.
Wow!
I looked on Amazon. I was like, "Jeez."
Are you
talking about the one with the
little box?
Yeah, it's between like $30 and $50.
Wow, really? I think I paid like $5 for it at one point.
So keep your eyes open, John. If you see one, let me know because I want them.
Okay, I saw a guy with an Xbox on there with him. What's that?
Are there any rumors going on about HD remakes for Shenmue 1 and 2?
Oh, there's always
that sweet like sealed deal is like, oh, here's 3, and by the way,
there's been rumors for a while, but every month they
Are there rumors, or are they just people wishing? Though?
They're just people wishing. The whole thing is Sega says that the engine that was used for it was they licensed it through someone, and the licensing has run out on it. And the trouble is the company that that they licensed the engine from is not in existence anymore. So they say they can't legally do the engine because they're afraid redo it because they're afraid somebody will come out of the woodworks and go, "We own that engine." Yeah, and sue them since they have no idea who owns the rights to any of that or anything. As far as they know, nobody owns. I mean,
if at that point, yeah, nobody owns the rights, so nobody could even win that case.
I think it's I think it's just Sega being Sega. And with all the hype that Shenmue 3 has, I don't understand why they haven't done it yet. I mean, I read, golly, this was like 5 or 6 years ago. This was before the PlayStation 4 even came out. I had read that Sega had a fully working remastered version of Shenmue to release on Xbox Live Arcade, but they didn't because of the whole engine controversy. But I don't know how much.
Use a different engine.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that's the problem. They don't want to build it back from the ground up. They just want to HD it like they did Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio and stuff like that.
Ooh.
But I don't know. To me, it would behoove Sega to do that just for the pure simple fact. It would make them
so much money.
Oh, yeah. Well, pulling off that hype train of Shenmue 3, why not, do it? And at least Sega would make some money off of it. I mean, I doubt Sega's making any money off Shenmue 3 because all they did was give, Suzuki the blessing to do it. They gave him permission to do it, but as far as I know, there was no money that went down,
I thought he bought the rights back from Shenmue.
I don't think he bought the rights. I think Sega just gave him permission to do it. Because they weren't going to, flip the money to do it. I don't know. Sega's so weird. They won't flip the money to bring like Yakuza 0 over, but Sony will flip the bill and Sega will do it. And, it just doesn't make sense. It's like Sega doesn't want to make money, but
there we go. That's what I was just going to say, actually. It's like, we got all these great franchises, but we don't like money.
It's one of those weird things that's Sega of America wants to do it, but Sega of Japan doesn't want to do it. And if you've ever read that Console War book, it really shows
Or the Rise and Fall of Sega.
Yeah, or the Rise and Fall. It really shows you exactly what kind of power struggle it was between Japan and Sega of Japan and Sega of America. That's just kind of almost embarrassing that... Things that Sega could have done if they would just listen to Sega of America, and they just didn't.
But they'll re-release 1,000 different Sonics that are trash and keep throwing that name into the
Exactly.
dirt.
Well, hopefully the new Sonic's good.
As Robert's running out to buy it. I don't care. I love Sonic.
Hey, I have that.
I'll get Sonic Mania.
Hey, I have that thing pre-ordered. I got the collector's edition of that.
Oh, you told me about that. It looked pretty cool.
I think I'm going to get that on the Switch.
Oh, I did. I switched my pre-order over when it came out on the Switch. I switched my pre-order over to the Switch because I figured that game would just feel more right on the Switch.
I think with those buttons, it'll feel better.
Yeah. And plus, I like the thought of being able to play it wherever I go. Once again, with the Switch stuff, that's been my whole thing with the Switch. Is there's a bunch of games that I would like to see come out on the Switch just for the pure simple fact that I like to be able to take them wherever I want and then plug it in and play it on the TV. But
exactly,
we'll see. I don't know. Sega's weird. I love them, but Sega's weird and funny. Well, speaking of Sega, that's about the only thing that I've played in the past 2 weeks. I got enamored with the Raspberry Pi, trying to collect more ROMs to put on. I sent Eric a message the other day, and I have an external hard drive hooked up to my Raspberry Pi. Nothing on the chip. All the ROMs are on the hard drive. And I'm almost got 8,000 games on that thing.
Oh man!
And they're all arcade games. I got so into it the other night that I just played arcade games till like 3 o'clock in the morning. Played Punisher and beat it, and played Golden Axe, and everything just runs so good on it. It's just unbelievable.
How's the PlayStation 1 emulation?
It's actually really good. I just downloaded like 40 or 50 PlayStation games the other day and dumped them on there, and found the BIOS and dumped them on there. Cool. And I did the same thing with Sega CD games. And they run just fine. I'm going to try Dreamcast. Apparently,
I was going to ask if you're going to try Saturn.
Well, Saturn doesn't work on it because Saturn's so hard to emulate. But I hear that there's a few Dreamcast games that run on it, and Shenmue's one of them.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, but some of them don't run real well, but some of them do. So I just like to try it out just to see. That's a nice thing with the Raspberry Pi. If I don't like it and it doesn't run well, I just uninstall it and move on to the next thing.
Delete, move on.
But I think I got like 1,300 arcade games on there right now. I mean, it's just like, well, I just love it because if I want to play Darius Burst, and I don't know if anybody ever remembered playing Darius Burst in the arcades, but it was three monitors put together, so it was like a true 16 by 9 arcade machine. So you could see the entire, like a 3/4 of the map from one end to the other, and your ship would start here and go all the way over. And when you play your Raspberry Pi on a 55-inch TV, it really emulates that really well.
Yeah.
But, well, in fact, the other night I was just kind of piddling around, just setting stuff back up for streaming, and that's what I streamed, was a bunch of me just playing arcade games on the Twitch channel at like 3 o'clock in the morning, just testing out the stream and seeing how things, making sure I had everything hooked up right down here. Because I have everything running through a splitter, and then it goes to the Elgato, so I can play things on the TV and not have to play them through the computer. So I just got an HDMI splitter. And if I don't have it hooked up right, it doesn't work right. So, but yeah, I've been messing with that Raspberry Pi. That thing is awesome. They just released
He highly recommends it.
Oh, I do. I think 4.1 just came out, and it adds a whole lot of cool stuff. It's just kind of weird to actually play PlayStation 1 games on a Raspberry Pi with a PlayStation 3 controller. Something about that feels right. So,
I can see that.
Yeah. And then the only other
it's
thing...
on my list to have all the parts sitting.
Have you still not put that thing together? Dude, it takes like 30 minutes. What are you waiting on?
Oh. Keep getting distracted.
Yeah, you gotta get distracted with that, because then you'll just sit and play
I will
on
get
it all
distracted
night.
with that.
I mean, I was reading stuff online. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's really hard to set up a Raspberry Pi." Bull crap! It's not hard to set it up at all. I don't understand why everybody thinks it's so complicated, because it's really not that complicated at all. But whatever. But the only other thing I did play a little bit of Death and Return of Superman on the Genesis. That's for those that don't know, that is a Blizzard-made beat-em-up about the Death and Return of Superman comics from the mid-90s. I think that's when it was. Or like.
So do you get to play as all of the Supermans, like Superboy and stuff like that?
Yeah, you start out as Superman, and then he, of course, dies, and then you play as...
spoiler!
Steel. Well... 25 years. If you haven't heard that storyline, then you got...
I remember how popular those comics were, and people were buying like all of them. It was crazy.
Oh yeah, they thought they were going to be something worth something. I mean, I've got a sealed white thing here when I was buying comics, and a bagged copy of it, and it's worthless. They made so many of them.
And why has the game gone up so much in value?
I don't know. I mean, just a month ago you could get it for about $12 or $13, and now it's like $30 or $40, and a box copy.
That's card only, right?
Yeah, that's just card only. A boxed version is anywhere between, depending on which system you buy it on, it's like $60 on Genesis, and it's $100 now on Super Nintendo, and I have no idea why. The prices for it just shot up for some reason, and I bought it in a lot for $2.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I've been playing it a lot because I wanted to play through it. It's just cool because like one level you'll be Superboy, the next level you'll be Steel, the next level you'll be Cyborg Superman, the next level you'll be the whatever that clone Superman was called. I don't even remember what they called him.
There's too many of them.
Yeah, there was a bunch.
Oh yeah, the one with the glasses, the clone.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a really good game. It's probably one of the best Superman games, and I never paid much attention to it because anytime you associate a video game with Superman, you usually think it sucks. So
Superman 64.
I mean, how many good ones are there really?
Ooh,
2.
Well, the Superman the arcade game.
Maybe. Yeah, the Superman arcade game's not bad.
2-player.
There's that one on the NES, which was I think it was just a port of the arcade game, and it was okay.
What about the one that was based on the movie from like 2003, 2004, Superman Returns, right?
The
That's
one
for
on
360.
Nah, I don't think it was very
garbage.
Good. I don't think.
I didn't hear very many good things about that one.
I mean, it wasn't terrible, but I don't think it was really good. It wasn't N64 Superman terrible.
You weren't just flying through rings.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's really cool. And when I never realized that Blizzard made it, but once I realized Blizzard made it, I was like, well, this is kind of cool. It's very comic. The cutscenes are very comic booky and look like comic books. It's really cool if you get a chance to play it, either a cartridge or a ROM of it. Check it out. It's actually pretty good, especially if you like beat 'em ups.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out. I don't think I've ever played it. I'm pretty sure I probably have a ROM copy of it, but I've never played it.
I never played it either, and I just, like I said, I bought that lot of Genesis games. There was like 30 or 40 Genesis games in it, and I just bought them all, and then realized that I think I bought them all for $60, and then when I got home, I realized that was like the week that Superman game shot up to $60 for some reason, and I was like, holy crap, I got a box copy of it for $2. This is essentially what it boiled down to. So but yeah, I mean, I've been playing the crap out of it. It gets hard in some of the higher levels, so it's definitely probably something I'll end up playing on the Retron 5 just so I can beat it and see what the ending looks like.
Utilize some of those cheat codes.
Yeah, or I guess I could play it on
Save states.
Yeah, well, I could play it on the flash card and play it.
Yeah.
Play it with cheats on it or save states on it. I've really been using the save states like on Castlevania and stuff like that. That's actually pretty cool.
Like really need it.
Yeah, it's really cool thing. I keep piddling with that, which is something that I've never really thought about before. Save states, how cool and almost necessary save states are in some of those games. Because I don't have time to set and play through, like, even though it may only take 2 or 3 hours, sometimes I don't have 2 or 3 hours to play, so not anymore. No. I will this week because I'm not working this week, so I'm gonna mow grass tomorrow and play some games. Well, I'm gonna mow grass tomorrow and then the Destiny beta starts, so I'll get drug into that for probably the rest of the week, but that's okay.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know how you like it.
Yeah, I will. I'll know by tomorrow evening. My buddy will be off work, and he said he'll be playing in the evening, so I'll get up and do my chores in the morning, and then take a nap and be ready to play half the night with him. So hopefully it's good. It's supposed to have like the entire opening single player and one strike mission and maybe one multiplayer thing. I don't remember. I mean, it's not a huge part of the game, but it's enough to probably at least wet your whistle to find out if you're going to like it or not.
If you're going to buy it.
I'm just curious to know how different it is. I mean, I'm sure it's still the same rinse and repeat, but I would like to see a little more story that I don't have to go on my cell phone and find. But we've talked about that too. So
mm-hmm. At length.
Yes, at length. So, all right, well, let's get into news. There's not a ton of news. It's mostly games that were announced that was going to be delayed. Probably next show we'll have a lot to talk about with the Destiny beta and stuff like that. But one thing that I did find kind of interesting, it was announced this week. Technically, I guess it was last week, because this is Monday, that the Overwatch League, they announced the 7 cities that are going to be in the Overwatch League. It's Boston, New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Shanghai, Seoul. Let's see, is that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, Miami, and Miami was the other one, I believe. So they're actually going to have cities like the Boston Red Sox. And what's funny is it's not just some Joe Blow. I mean, the Boston team is actually claimed by Robert Kraft, who, for those who don't know, owns the New England Patriots. I mean, there's real money that they're putting behind it. The New York one is actually owned by Jeff Wilpon. He owns the Mets.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, so you've really got you've really got some real money behind it. So I mean, this is just a start. With 7 teams, they're actually going to travel around the country. They'll play matches and tournaments in each of those cities. it would not surprise me if down the road, if it catches on, let's see, to allow teams to prepare for venues and cities for proper home and away games in the future. Season 1 regular season matches will be played at an eSport arena in the Los Angeles area in the United States. The games will be played each Thursday, Friday, and Saturday during the season. More information about the schedule and ticket sales will be announced closer to the Overwatch League event. They don't say when that will be. That's what I was looking to see here. This is actually, the link in the show notes is to the Overwatch League's official website. So this is like a really big deal for esports to actually have real money behind it and real sports people back this.
Yeah, I mean, it could make a big difference.
It could. I mean, this could be a real big turning point for esports, and for it to Overwatch to be the one to do it, I'm not surprised. I mean,
no, not at all.
Overwatch is really popular. I actually own a copy of that game, and I played the beta, and that was it. Me and Buddy always said we were going to play it, but we never really have. So, but to hear names like Robert Kraft and Jeff Walpin passed around. These are serious people who run a business, who have won world championships in their sports teams and things like that. So I mean, who knows how much money they're putting behind it? They may not be putting a lot, but they could seriously put some serious cash in behind it, especially if it catches on. If it gets to be
esports are only going to get bigger at this point.
Yeah, I mean, with ESPN showing esports stuff now, and Fox Sports starting to get into esports, and there's a whole esports channel on the PlayStation View channel lineup that we have, and it's all pre-recorded stuff. But when there's something big, they show it live. And Evo was just this past weekend, I believe, which I didn't see any of it. I'm not much of the fighting games, so but I know that was very popular. There was a lot of it on my Twitter feed. I didn't have to go and watch it because everybody was tweeting about it. But I mean, this could seriously be a turning point for esports to get more teams in it. Would that be something you guys would watch?
I don't know.
Maybe. It depends on the game.
I remember back when G4 was a thing, and I used to watch that, and I was just like I kind of got into it for a minute, but they were going back and forth between showing the gameplay and the people playing the games, and there was just some sort of disconnect there for me. I was like, I could just be playing these games. Like, why am I watching these guys talking smack to each other in these random games? My problem with esports is there's just too many different games for there to be like a unified league, and otherwise you're going to see them be broken up into fighting games and shooters and
well, you got the Evo.
I don't know,
for
it's just
fighting.
Too many.
You got the TBS is doing the Counter-Strike thing. Now we got the Overwatch.
But games are not relevant as long as sports are.
Right.
Like if you're doing, for lack of a better example, say there's a Halo League, right? So you're playing the most recent Halo game, and then the next one comes out. Is everyone jumping over, or are you still playing the old one? Is there like a window of time?
Right.
You'd end up having leagues for literally every single version of every franchise. And
well, you kind of look at StarCraft that way. StarCraft for the longest time was StarCraft 1, and then when StarCraft 2 came out, they slowly moved over to StarCraft 2. I think that's why you haven't seen. I mean, how long has Overwatch been out now? 3 years? 2 years?
I was going to say 2.
No.
It's at least been 2.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I
really don't think so.
I'd have to look it up. I figured it was at least 2 years. But, I mean...
I'm on it.
Okay. But, I mean, so far we've heard nothing about, Overwatch 2 coming out or anything like that. Okay, a year and a half at the most is what Matt says. And he would know.
May 2016.
Okay. So it's just a little over a year old. So I don't know. I mean, if anybody's going to do it, Blizzard's the one to do it. They've shown it with StarCraft that they know how to do esports. Counter-Strike is an old game that still, a lot of people play.
Yep.
And
I
don't know how the ratings are on TBS. It seems like a weird place to have esports on TBS, but I don't know. TBS is pretty much just weird comedies and a lot of reruns. So, maybe it is a good place for something like that. I don't know. I don't watch much TBS, so it's one of those channels that I don't even think about really putting on unless there's nothing else on and they're showing some reruns of Seinfeld or something, and I just want noise in the background or something. But I don't know. It could be real interesting. I mean, that's my thing is with the with real people, real sports people taking a serious interest in it. I mean, Kraft doesn't spend money on
garbage.
Yeah, I mean, he just doesn't. You see what he did with the Patriots when he bought them. So I don't know. It'll be real interesting to see. I'm sure it'll do well. But the other thing is too, it may be a generational thing. I'm not much of the, I'm over 40, so I'm not much on watching people play video games, but I know a lot of my friends have kids who are tweens, and that's all they do is they watch YouTube all the time, or Twitch, or they watch those things, or they stream, and that's TV to them. They don't watch regular television.
It's just crazy. Occasionally I'll watch some streaming, but it's not something I actively watch all the time.
If it's somebody that I know, I'll watch it, put it on the background. I watch Matt's streams that he does for us. I'll watch them for an hour or 45 minutes or so, or if I'm doing something, I'll put them on in the background to listen to them. If I'm working on the computer or something like that. But I'm not one to sit in bed at night and just flip through different Twitch channels and watch streamers. But I know a lot of people do that though, and they enjoy that. But yeah, it'll be real interesting. When I saw Kraft's name on there as the owner of the Boston team, I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute! This, this isn't just
all of a sudden serious."
Yeah, this is something serious. This isn't just we're throwing a league together to play around the world for a season and win $10 million and split it up between the teams. This could turn into something where you might see Columbus get a team, or Charlotte get a team, or Raleigh get a team, or all of a sudden, if it takes off, you may see smaller markets getting teams, and the next thing you know, you may have weekly tournaments. If they get enough teams spread out like the NFL has, you could have different teams playing different places all weekend long and have an entire, channel of nothing but Overwatch tournaments all weekend. So,
yeah, as long as the money's there and they have a reason to support it, there's enough support. Why not? Next up is merchandising, and they're already merchandising some of it, but
right.
No, there's already sponsorships and all that.
Yeah, and and Overwatch seems to be the thing that that could do it. Everybody likes Overwatch. It's a fun game. I mean, it really is. It's a fun game, and I don't do much on first person shooters anymore, but I like that game. What little bit of it I've played, so. Atari revealed some images today of their new Atari Box console. It looks like a new version of an old Atari. There's a wood grain version and a Darth Vader version. The back of it shows, one HDMI port, 4 USBs, a SD card slot, the power, of course, and some other adapter port thing that I have no idea what it is, and they don't even mention it. So, but no announcement of any games, any footage of games,
or what it does.
Yeah, or what it does.
I mean, I would think maybe it sounds like it's some sort of Android console. Maybe that's what I would think, but who knows?
It says modern technologies, modern games. I don't remember what the wording was, but
there's
the whole thing is. I don't know. I'm super intrigued by it. I think it looks really cool. Personally,
it's a cool design. I mean, no doubt about it. It's a cool design. You know, it's definitely.
I'm all about that classic wood one.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a throwback to that classic Atari that we all grew up with at some point in somebody's house, whether it was an uncle or your house or a brother or something. It does look really cool, but I can't get excited for it until I know exactly what it does. I mean, it may look cool. It may be like that. What was that?
Chameleon?
ColecoVision, yeah, the ColecoVision out. They showed pictures of it. It looked real good, and then we never saw anything about it.
I'm so excited, and
then just all blah. So I don't know. I mean, it looks neat. Hopefully, we'll hear more about it. I hope it's not just an emulator box. Like I say,
because I already got lots of those.
Yeah, I got lots of those, and you can do that on a Raspberry Pi for $30. But yeah, I know you don't have the cool looking wood grain and stuff like that. But hey, you can make your Raspberry Pi cases look like about anything anymore. So I don't know. It looks really neat. Hopefully, we'll hear more about it in the coming weeks.
And some company, whatever company owns Atari too, they're keeping it pretty hush hush.
Yeah, they are. They're really keeping it hush hush, which is really weird. It's like, oh, we're not meaning to tease you, but we're going to tease you. It's like, okay, well, whatever. But
it needs to be more than just an emulator box. It's going to have a hard time if it comes out this holiday with the SNES Classic coming out. So it's just there's no room for that. I don't know how Nintendo's doing it.
I went to the store, but I couldn't find the Super Nintendo Classic. So here's your Christmas gift.
Yeah, here's an Atari that plays old Atari games all on one box, and it does all kinds of other cool things.
Good, it'll be just as successful as the original Atari.
Yeah, probably. Ooh, yeah. So I guess you guys remember. I don't remember. We didn't talk too much about the April Fool's stuff, but there was an April Fool's.
I don't remember this.
You don't remember this? There was a Street Fighter EX series. The creator that announced this fighting game on April Fool's, and it was Capcom's April Fool's joke. Well, it turns out that game is actually a real game, and they showed it off at Evo over the weekend. It's called currently it's called the Mysterious Fighting Game. They don't have an official title for it.
Great title.
Yeah, but they have with all these crazy.
It's going to be called like MFG eventually.
Yeah. So he says the creator says it's the newest entry in the EX series of Street Fighter, and it has all these different weird looking fighters in it, like this guy dressed up in a skeleton outfit and this other guy and this, and it looks really weird, but it's very strange that they have the actual April Fool's joke was an actual game. So who knew?
Joke's on us, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. So Kingdom Hearts has officially been announced that it's coming in 2018. That's all we know. So they give us, they give us a year window, which I guarantee it will probably be delayed again.
Do you follow the Kaz Hirai CEO Twitter account?
You know what? I don't know if I do or not. I may.
So I saw a meme posted earlier where that Twitter account posted a picture that said, I fixed the Kingdom Hearts slide.
Oh, yeah.
And it says Kingdom Hearts coming in 2018 days.
Yeah, 2018 days. I did see that. Yeah, I forgot. I did see that over the weekend. So yeah, D23 was this weekend, so they talked a lot about Star Wars and Marvel and Disney and stuff like that. And that was one of the things that they announced at the expo was they showed a new trailer. It has Toy Story characters in it, which looks really cool.
Looks really good.
Mm-hmm. It really does. So it'll be released sometime in 2018. That's all they've said. Sometime in 2018. So nothing better than a vague date of something.
Please be excited.
Yeah. Please be excited, and hopefully it's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's vague, but at least it's coming, and we've got some new stuff, so that's promising.
What really always worries me is, here we're coming up on a big game, 2018, and there's vague talks of the PlayStation 5 coming out in the next 2 years and the next Xbox coming out in the next 2 years. It's like, man, here we go again. We're going to get these great games at the end of a console life that we've waited 13 years for, and then they'll turn around and put out a HD version on the next system, and we won't see another version of a 4 come out until another 13 years, and who knows.
Here, 5.5, 5.75, yeah.
Speaking of games that are been announced and just barely seem like they're coming out, Gran Turismo Sport officially has a release date, and I saw nothing about it. There was no big fanfare. There was no nothing. October 17th in North America and October 18th in Europe and Australia. Is this not just strange? Because, Gran Turismo used to be like the big game for Sony as far as racing goes, and now here it is. They talked very little about it at E3. It was on their pre-show for their big their big presentation. They said nothing about it on the main stage. It is very, very weird. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And they just quietly brought it out and said, hey, here's Gran Turismo Sport coming out.
This whole thing doesn't feel like a normal Gran Turismo release to me. Like, it's not numbered. That was like the big thing to me from the very beginning. And just more and more and more, this doesn't seem like it's going to end up being a full-fledged GT game.
Yeah, I don't know. It is so strange that I don't even understand it. But yeah, just quietly was announced, and no fanfare, nothing. There was a tweet from Sony, hey, it's coming out, or they retweeted Gran Turismo's tweet, and that was about it. It's like weird.
Yeah.
But I hope it's good. But at this point, it's been so long since we've had a Gran Turismo. Most people have moved on to Forza, and I know I have. I moved on to Forza on the Xbox. That's pretty much why I own an Xbox, is to play Forza. So, very strange. Ni no Kuni 2 was delayed again. Now it's been delayed till January 19th of 2018, which is not too far off of what it was originally supposed to be. It was supposed to be November 10th, but honestly, November is so full of games, I don't know if we really need a fantastic Japanese RPG coming out. I'm kind of disappointed it's not coming out this year, because that is one of the games that it's on my list that I'm going to buy. I'm okay with it coming out in January, because sometimes January is slow for games anyway. So, but if you've never played Ni no Kuni 1 on the PlayStation 3 and you still have a PlayStation 3, definitely try it. It is an awesome game.
And it was free on PlayStation Plus maybe a couple years ago. That's how I got it.
Well, yeah, I think it was. Oh, it's really good. I mean, it's like playing an anime cartoon. I mean, it's level 5. It was
really fantastic.
Good game. Yeah.
Yeah, it has that little weird hat thing, right?
Yeah, you had that little weird.
It's like if Studio Ghibli did Pokemon.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's got that little Noodles guy. I forget his name, but I need to go back and play it again, because it's been so long since I played it. I don't remember everything.
What was that guy's name?
I can't remember. It was something weird.
Or
something. I can't remember. It's been too long since I played it. If my buddy Justin was here, he'd be able to tell us exactly what his name was. He's probably screaming it in his car when he is listening to it.
Yeah, it was Drift.
Was it? Okay. It's just been so long since I played it, I don't remember, but I need to go back and play it. And if you like Japanese RPGs, I mean, it's almost like Pokemon meets, I don't even know. It's got so many different role-playing game elements in it that it'll definitely tickle your fancy if if you like role-playing games at all, especially Japanese role-playing games. But
yeah, I had heard that it was a really good game, and then I would like it, but I just never got around to it. But who knows? There's always time.
Yeah, there's always time. Especially now that this one's been delayed, you got plenty of time to get it. I think I pre-ordered it on Amazon when they had a price error on it. It was like $40 or something like that. It was pretty weird.
Yes.
But I pre-ordered it super cheap anyway. So, Nintendo ceases production on the smaller 3DS in Japan. So now you can only get the 3DS XL and the 2DS XL. They did away with the smaller one. So any of you that's got the smaller one that has the
really, no, they were hardly sold anyway. They were only like limited edition releases to begin with.
Well, I don't know. They weren't over here. They had them with them. So, but they had.
There was like the Pokemon release, which only released when Red and Blue came out, and then there was like the Animal Crossing, which was limited, and then the Black Friday ones, and that was it.
Well, that's true. But, they had faceplates for them. In Japan, they had a regular color of them.
It was normal in Japan.
Yeah, it was normal release in Japan. So for them to, kind of stop producing them, I guess, why do you need 3 versions of it out anyway? Plus, maybe this is a sign that they really are going to cut down and work on a new 3DS or a new DS family. I don't know what you would call that. Yeah, and that may be too. Matt said,
I just want them to go forward with the Switch. Let's just make it one thing, one family.
Nah, they won't do that. They'll have their handheld.
Making too much money off that DS library.
That 3DS makes too much money, and the Switch isn't a fully. Technically, it's not their handheld console. It is their hybrid console. It is their home console and a handheld.
I think we'll see an iteration sooner rather than later with a better battery, and then it can be. Or they'll release a model that doesn't come with the dock, so that it is a handheld, and then you can make it a home console if you're buying a dock.
If you choose,
I could totally see that happening.
They may
like a Switch Mini, and if you could still get a dock if you want to, but no need.
They may. I don't know. That 3DS makes so much money that I would be surprised if they actually did that, but we'll see. But that's all I got as far as news goes. Is there anything else that?
No, most of the chat room was kind of curious. They were just talking about the stuff that we were talking about and chatting a little bit about how it'd be kind of cool to have like a esports streaming service, kind of like Netflix, maybe. Well, that's kind of interesting. I mean, if it was super cheap, maybe.
Yeah, and
it's something that I could see Twitch take over in the long run.
I could see somebody like, Netflix really doesn't do live streaming, but I could see Hulu do something like that. Hulu takes a chance on weird things sometimes.
They do odd stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if they could do a standalone, esports channel would go over real well. I don't know. Maybe it would if it was cheap enough a month and they had enough, content to fill it. That may be. I don't know. It would be interesting to see, though. Like we said before, I think it's going to be interesting to see where esports goes with this Overwatch League thing. So, but yeah, I don't know. I like to say I'm not much on watching the esports. I may watch some of this league stuff just to see what it's all about. If it's interesting, sure, why not? But who knows? But yeah, that's all I got. We don't have any contests going on right now. I still need to get some things together for a contest. So the last contest we did was.
I don't think I have anything right now.
I've got a bunch of Steam codes for different things, but I need to. They're all like little games, so I need to bundle them all up together and see what I got.
Yeah, me too. I got some stuff for bundling too, but nothing like major.
Yeah, I don't have anything big that's standalone, but I got some bundle stuff. I just haven't had a chance to really sit down and go through it. I got to dig through emails. My inbox is a mess. Story of my life. But
dozens of press emails.
Oh yeah, and I used to at the end of the night I'd always sort everything and put them all in different folders, and I haven't done it since the first of the year. So my inbox has just got
collapsing
stuff.
on its own
legs. It's pretty big and bad. So I need to really sit down and do that. So, but yeah, that's all I got. So hopefully hopefully the next time we record, I'll be able to report on Destiny 2 and what I thought of the beta and stuff like that.
Looking forward to hearing about that.
Yeah, and then don't forget we do.
I did not get a beta code this year.
Oh, really? That's surprising.
Yeah.
But we should be. Me and D-Pad Danny should be recording some new Back to Bits podcasts this week. So we'll start rolling those out probably the weekend. To fill in while we're not doing this show. I think we're actually going to try to start live streaming our recordings of that, because we record 2 or 3 shows at a time, so we record for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That way we have a back stock, and then I can just release them every couple of weeks or so. But so check that out if you're into retro gaming. Or if you just want another gaming podcast, as if there isn't enough of them out there as it is. But, if you want another one, if you don't get enough of hearing me talk about old games, then, you can definitely check that out. So, all right, I'm going to stop that right there. Man, Robert, I don't know what that is on your end, but
I don't know if it's on his